Mashle vs Gojo is far from fair. You'll know what I'm talking about in just a few minutes. Gojo confidently says he's the strongest sorcerer, believing that no other magic user can surpass him, and maybe he's right. However, what if there's a sorcerer with no magic and all muscle who challenges this claim? Yup, we're talking about our new One Punch Man, Mash from Mashle. Does he have what it takes to beat the most powerful sorcerer? Mash and Satoru are two characters with vastly different backgrounds and approaches to combat within their respective worlds. Mash, born without a magic mark in a society where everyone possesses one, relies on muscle-based techniques to compensate for his lack of magical power. His control over his muscles is so advanced that he can perform impressive feats, such as preventing blades from being taken out by clenching his abdominal muscles. Through training, he further enhances his muscle control, achieving even more remarkable abilities like stopping blades with his ocular muscles. Despite lacking traditional magic, Mash's skills are so extraordinary that people often mistake him for a magic user, or he makes them believe he is using magic. Like, this man, he can just fly by moving his legs fast. On the other hand, Satoru is established as the strongest sorcerer in his series, holding immense amounts of cursed energy and possessing a dangerously powerful technique. Even among special grade sorcerers, he stands out as unmatched in skill, with Sukuna being the only potential rival. Satoru's growth and ability is marked by overcoming formidable opponents, including the renowned sorcerer killer Toji Fushiguro. His might is so feared that he can influence decisions within the Jujutsu Society and even cancel executions. Satoru claims he could defeat Sukuna at full power, and his prowess is demonstrated when he effortlessly handles threats from Kenjaku's group, leaving them astounded by the extent of his capabilities. Mash relies on ingenuity and physical prowess in a world dominated by magic, while Satoru stands at the pinnacle of magical strength within his own magical universe, with his abilities and reputation making him a force to be reckoned with even among other powerful sorcerers. Now, to understand who will win, you first need to understand their abilities, so here's a breakdown of their main abilities. Mash Burn Dead. Muscle Magic. Mash utilizes his incredible muscle strength and control to perform various feats, including superhuman punches, kicks, and throws. He can also create devastating shockwaves and manipulate objects with his muscles. Weakness Mode. This allows Mash to become incredibly flexible and dodge attacks by becoming like paper. Iron Wand. Mash's weapon of choice is a heavy iron rod that he uses to amplify his attacks and block magical spells. Durability. Mash possesses superhuman durability, able to withstand powerful attacks and blunt force trauma. Limited Magic. While unable to cast magic spells, Mash's muscle control allows him to mimic certain magical effects. Satoru Gojo. Limitless. This cursed technique grants Satoru near absolute control over space, allowing him to repel attacks, create barriers, and teleport. Infinity. The neutral form of Limitless creates an invisible barrier that deflects anything approaching Satoru. Blue and Red. These cursed techniques manipulate positive and negative cursed energy, allowing Satoru to attack with powerful attraction or repulsion forces. Hollow Purple. A powerful attack formed by combining blue and red, causing a devastating imaginary mass to be launched at the target. Reverse Curse Technique. Satoru can heal himself and others, and even maintain a constant flow of reversed cursed energy to keep his brain fresh despite the demands of his techniques. Six Eyes. This ability allows Satoru to perceive the world in incredible detail, making him almost impossible to surprise. Ultimately, the outcome of a battle between Mash Burn Dead and Satoru Gojo would depend on various factors, such as the setting, their knowledge of each other's abilities, and any potential strategies they employ. Both characters have strengths and weaknesses that could give them an edge in certain situations, so there are some possible scenarios. Now, before we expand on each scenario and who wins in each, it's important to remember that both Mash and Satoru are still developing their abilities, so their power levels could potentially increase in the future. Additionally, the author's creative choice would ultimately determine the outcome of any hypothetical battle between the two characters. Now that's out of the way, here's our take. Scenario 1. Brute Force vs Infinity. Mash leaps across the battlefield, muscles primed and an iron wand humming in his grip. He unleashes a devastating punch, generating shockwaves that crack the very air. But as his fist nears Satoru, it seems to slam into an invisible barrier, Infinity. The force ripples against the barrier, but harmlessly dissipates. Frustrated, Mash rains down a flurry of blows, each met with the same silent deflection. Satoru observes calmly, his six eyes analyzing Mash's movements. He recognizes its raw power, but also its predictable nature. With a flick of his wrist, he activates the blue technique and the air around Mash twists, pulling him uncontrollably towards Satoru. Mash struggles, his muscles straining against the invisible force, but he's drawn closer and closer. Just as Satoru prepares a finishing blow, Mash activates Weakness Mode. His body contorts, becoming like paper, slipping through the blue's pull and narrowly avoiding the attack and giving the finishing blow. Here we have the strengths and weaknesses of both characters. Mash's raw power is immense, but Satoru's infinity renders it almost useless. However, once Mash enters the weakness mode, it provides a temporary escape, giving him a chance through the Muscle Magic Punch. Hence, Mash wins this round with a score of 1-0. Scenario 2, Weakness Mode versus Limitless. The battlefield is littered with debris, a testament to their clash. Mash, panting and bruised, throws his iron wand with a desperate yell. Satoru raises a hand, and Infinity effortlessly deflects the weapon. He scoffs, amused by Mash's futile attempts. The tension hangs heavy as Satoru considers finishing him off. Suddenly, Mash breaks into a smirk. He slams his fists together, triggering a shockwave so powerful it cracks the Infinity Barrier for a split second. Satoru, caught off guard, loses his balance. Mash seizes the opportunity, charging forward and unleashing a devastating kick. But before the kick lands, Satoru uses his most powerful ability, Limitless, along with 6 eyes, to control and see everything, leaving no scope for the element of surprise from Mash. Everything there slams into Mash, crushing him under the debris. Gojo takes the cake in this one, making the score 1-1. Scenario 3, Blue versus Durability. Satoru raises his hand, gathering cursed energy. Blue activates, enveloping the area in a sphere of gravitational pull. Mash feels himself drawn in, his muscles screaming in protest. The pull intensifies, threatening to crush him. He feels his bones creak, but he grits his teeth, channeling his magical resistance and endurance. He digs his feet into the ground, his muscles straining against the invisible force. Slowly, painfully, he inches forward, defying the blue's pull. Satoru's eyes widen in surprise, but now he knows what he's up against. He cranks up the power, but Mash pushes on, sweat pouring down his face. With a final surge of effort, he bursts free from Blue's grasp, standing defiant before Satoru, but now he is too exhausted to fight in hand-to-hand combat. Now Gojo is no joke, so he leaves Mash in the dust. Let me explain how. Blue is a potent technique, but Mash's sheer physical strength and magical resistance allow him to resist its crushing force. However, the strain is going to be evident, leaving him vulnerable to follow-up attacks, and here Gojo will use the reverse curse technique to heal himself to hit Mash with all his might, as he will know the durability, as he observed Mash's durability earlier in the battle and took away the element of surprise. But if he hadn't known about it, the outcome would have been different, but since he did, he got himself a lead by 1 point, making it 2 for Gojo and 1 for Mash. Scenario 4, Weaknesses versus Hollow Purple. The battlefield is scorched and scarred, a testament to their prolonged brawl. Mash, battered and bruised, activates Weaknesses mode. His body stretches and contorts, becoming akin to a ribbon weaving through Satoru's attacks. Satoru, momently taken aback, unleashes a barrage of blue and red techniques, but Mash's fluid form allows him to slip through each one. Frustrated, Satoru charges up Hollow Purple. The air shimmers with cursed energy as a massive imaginary mass forms behind him. He launches it towards Mash, the destructive force capable of leveling cities. Mash, realizing the danger, exits Weaknesses mode and slams his iron wand into the ground, creating a shockwave that ripples outwards. The two forces collide, creating a deafening explosion that throws both fighters back. The battlefield crumbles with dust and debris obscuring the scene. As the dust settles, we see both characters heavily injured but still conscious. Satoru coughs, his infinity flickering momentarily from the exertion, and this gives Mash the chance to give the final blow as he had better endurance than Gojo. With this Mash win, the score is once again 2-2. Scenario 5, Unpredictability versus 6 Eyes. The battle reaches a stalemate. Both fighters are exhausted, their attacks parried or countered. Satoru, analyzing the situation with his 6 eyes, notices a subtle twitch in Mash's muscles. He anticipates a punch and activates Infinity, but instead of attacking, Mash throws his iron wand, aiming for the ground just behind Satoru. With a precise blow, the iron wand cracks the earth, triggering a hidden trap Mash had set earlier. The ground beneath Satoru gives way, sending him plummeting into a hidden tunnel. Satoru reacts quickly, using blue to propel himself back to the surface, but he's momentarily off balance. So Gojo is up in the air, thinking Mash can't reach him as he knows no magic, therefore he can't fly. But Mash seizes the opportunity and flies by moving his legs really fast, charging forward with a devastating punch. Mash caught him off guard, got him, and once you get him with our new punch, you ain't getting back up, giving Mash the last win and making him the winner against Gojo Satoru. Because his attacks are too unpredictable to counter, his durability can do a lot of damage until he makes use of his unpredictability. Now, these 5 scenarios offer a glimpse into the various possibilities of a battle between Mash Burn Dead and Satoru Gojo. Each highlights different aspects of their skills, showcasing the potential for a thrilling and unpredictable clash. While the true victor remains a mystery, one thing is certain, their battle would be a sight to behold.